A happy Mummy Monday to you, Logan.
Oh, do
Are
I
you
talk?
would
Usually I
like
don't
you to,
talk 2 seconds into the
but you
podcast.
should wish me a happy Mummy Monday
Happy
back.
Mummy Monday to you,
Thank
Daniel.
thank you. All right, welcome to the franchise
Thank you.
where we talk about mummies on Mondays.
For
And
now.
for now, for the next 2 weeks after this. And today we've gotten to the 1990s. All right,
Finally.
where Stephen Summers delivers to us his masterpiece. I say that well, it's probably his masterpiece because he's never made another good movie, right?
What the heck? I thought we were gonna be praising him the whole episode. This is a wild start. I don't like this. He's made, of course, four masterpieces
All right, well, I know you think Van
in order.
Helsing.
Boom, 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 boom.
What, Mummy Returns?
I'm joking, obviously, but
Okay,
yes, I'm including that.
all
I'm
right.
going Deep Rising.
Oh, deep.
This.
Yeah, oh, by the way, forgot he did Deep Rising. That is his masterpiece.
That probably is. Or this. But that then into this, then The Mummy Returns, then Van Helsing. Boom, he's my favorite director alive. I'm kind of not kidding.
I know.
That's
I
awesome. But I didn't watch Deep Rising till more recently.
right, right,
But
right.
those three were three of my 10 favorite movies growing up.
Did you go see Odd Thomas in theaters when and
No,
GI Joe: The Rise of Cobra?
nope. And I'm waiting to do G.I. Joe when we do it. I might have watched that by now, honestly,
Yeah,
because he did it, but I'm
me
waiting.
too. All right. So, but first,
Are you Julie Chen Moonves?
yeah, hashtag. But first, we've
Okay.
got to talk about one more movie from the 1940s.
Oh, I actually forgot about that.
Yeah. And I mean, I hesitate when I call it movies. The credits started rolling at the 59-minute mark.
Love it.
Yeah. Uh,
The next one's double the time.
it is
two
more
hours
than
long.
double. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now this one is called The Mummy's Curse. It was originally called The Mummy's Return, which
Whoa.
maybe inspired Stephen Summers. But we have director Leslie Goodwins and writer Bernard Schubert.
Okay.
All right.
Leslie, that's a man. Is that a man?
Yeah, it's always a man.
Yeah.
You could watch a movie from the 1940s directed by someone named like Melissa Johnson. You look it up, it's a dude.
That happened last week. It was the guy's middle name. Was
Yeah,
just a woman's name.
it's
It was like
ridiculous.
Sarah, but it was a man.
Yeah. Now this came out December 22nd, 1944.
Well, Merry Christmas to us. That's exciting.
Yeah, yeah. A great gift wrapped up in bandages.
Or mud. They don't even
Yeah,
try with bandages anymore.
I know. Um, I mean, let's bang this one out in like 5 minutes.
I agree. I was gonna say the same thing.
All right. So the film starts with a great musical sequence.
Yeah, as
All right.
always.
There's a there's a lady sashaying around a cafe, and she's singing and dancing, and everyone's loving it. All right. And then she sidles up to the bar, and there's a guy waiting for her. He's gonna hit on her, even though she's married to the bartender. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, welcome to New Orleans. The Cajun man, alligator wrestling, huh?"
Oh, right, right. Here to look in the they're draining the swamp. He wants to check it out first, though.
All right. But here's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I
The
don't know what you're
film,
saying.
well, that was my Cajun accent.
What do you know? Were you saying words then?
Well, I was.
Could you
That's how
translate?
Cajun people sound. I said, "Welcome to New Orleans, alligator wrestling," I believe.
That's how we do it in New Orleans.
Right, 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 right.
Yeah.
Um, Now that means this takes place in New Orleans.
You ever been?
Yes, on my train trip across America, I
Make a
stopped for a
stop?
night in New Orleans. Yes,
That's very fun, actually.
I'll
Always
tell you
wanted to go.
what, didn't like it.
Why?
I didn't explore it much, but I'll tell you what, you cannot escape fucking jazz. There's just jazz coming at you everywhere you go.
That'd be cool though. You don't
I
get jazz elsewhere.
I don't want jazz.
Why? Did you see any pelicans?
No.
Oh, that's their basketball team. There
Yeah,
is the
they
Utah
they
Jazz.
were only named that because of the BP oil spill, right? There was like a
Yeah,
big oil spill around New Orleans, and Pelicans got involved.
they were the Hornets, and then they had a name change. They just went to
Yeah,
the Pelicans. You're right.
it's the worst name in basketball
I
history.
love it.
I know you've said this before, and I don't understand why.
I love texting my brother and being like, the Pellies are playing the Hornets. Like
I
I
like
like calling them the Pellies.
I like that, but it's also like the least intimidating living creature on earth.
That can't be true. Pelicans are kind of scary.
Are
They
they? I
look scary. They look like a
feel like
demon.
naming a team the Hummingbirds or something.
That's less frightening. You already named an animal less frightening than the
All right.
pelican.
Anyway, so the last film, if you recall, the last two films took place in New England. I always assumed Massachusetts because we're in like a bunch of colleges. It's like a
Okay.
college town. And the last film ends with the mummy walking into a river with his beloved Ananka, and they just sort of descend underwater.
That's
All
right.
right. All right. So now we're picking it up. This movie takes place 25 years later, by the way. So we're now in like the year 2000.
Yep.
Yeah. Because you'll recall the
We jumped
last
30
one.
years, then
Yeah,
25 years.
that's right. So everyone's celebrating Y2K, and it's everyone's talking about the Phantom Menace and how good the new Mummy movie
Yeah, the
was.
new mummy.
Yeah, yeah. But fucking, we now like we're draining a swamp in New Orleans. Bunch of Donald Trumps in this town draining the swamp.
Damn,
All
you got
right,
him.
and and they they come upon this mummy,
Hmm.
right? The mummy, but the mummy went into the river in New Orleans. No, I mean in Massachusetts.
Yeah. It's
All
been
right.
25 years. Who knows
And
what could
now
happen?
comes out of a swamp. But they said there has been no mummy sightings. We've not seen the mummy in 25 years.
Yeah.
But it's weird. It's almost like they decided this one takes place in New Orleans and then they just didn't change the script. It was like, well, he'll still come out of that body of water that he went into in the last one.
Honestly,
But
the time jump made it where I didn't think about it at all.
I
Anything can happen within 25 years in my mind.
I don't not in a live
Bodies can
setting.
move places in my mind.
But Ananka's like waking up for the first time.
Hmm.
So what happened? What happened?
The earth shuffles around.
Does it
I don't know. I don't know
in
why I'm trying to
25
justify it.
years?
I don't care that much. I just didn't pick up on this.
I can't believe you didn't pick up on this. We're in a
Mm.
totally different location.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're landlocked, baby. What's going on here?
Not anymore. We're in New Orleans.
All right. Fucking no, it's a garbage truck back there.
It must be routine. Always comes at this time.
It does, yeah. But what's going on? I don't know. They're all hanging
Then
out
the
in the
woman
swamp.
like gets resurrected too, though,
Yeah.
and she's like wandering around outside, and we find her like, wandering around,
Now,
and we save her.
I was reading about the movie beforehand. Most people don't like this entry in the Mummy franchise.
Okay.
But the one thing people said was the coolest part of the movie, the reason to watch it, is when she rises from the swamp. And so I was waiting for that moment. And when I got to it, I was really excited. And it was okay.
I remember it. I remember liking it.
Yeah.
She like I don't remember what happened. Was there like a bulldozer that goes
Oh,
over her?
I feel like she came out of nowhere. Like we just cut to the swamp and she's like coming out of it. And she's doing a lot of like movement exercises. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
She was that she really sold that moment actually, that she had been underground for so long and she hadn't moved her bones at all since
yeah.
then, or her mummies have muscles. I don't know. But she was moving in such a way that really made me believe that. And the way she was like didn't like the sun. She was like, oh, the sun is making it so hard on me. I bought that too.
All
Whoever
right.
she was might be the MVP.
She is the MVP. I thought so.
Mm-hmm. Who was she?
Uh, I
Princess
don't know.
Ananka, Virginia Christine.
Virginia Christine. Yeah, I remember reading that name.
Yeah, MVP to you.
Double first names for Virginia.
LVP, I think might be Lon Chaney. Honestly, I thought he was like
Just
kind of fat.
going through the motion. Oh, fat.
You could
Look
see
at
like
that.
the
The
fat.
mummy's gained some weight in the last
You shouldn't see
25
them.
years.
You shouldn't be able to tell the mummy's fat, but I
That's
could.
funny. Wow, I've seen like 6 movies with Virginia Christine. She's
Really?
had quite a good career.
What do we got?
High Noon, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Judgment at Nuremberg, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, and The Killers. She was in all those movies.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
The
that's
Stanley
pretty
Kubrick movie,
wild.
The Killers. Oh, wait, that's
Yeah,
The Killing. What's The
yeah,
Killers?
no, that's the Don Siegel film from the '60s with Lee Marvin and Angie Dickinson.
Okay. So is
Yeah,
she in the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
yeah.
Wow, that's very cool.
All right. So Virginia Christine, she's earned
So
her
she is a
pay.
good actor.
Yeah.
All right. Honestly, I don't remember like what much. That was like the main scene I remember was her waking up and wandering around that place and then getting found. I don't remember what else really happened. I
Remember how it
remember
ends?
I remember how it ends where he like broke down the wall. There's like a big wall
Like
and the
Chris
mummy was
Jericho,
like, yeah, exactly like that. And
like Chris Jericho, he broke the wall down.
yeah, I understood what you said. You didn't have to repeat it.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe there's a
I
dumb
wanted
listener
to.
didn't understand. Um,
Yeah.
but I think this is the first movie I understood the Tana leaves. You know, we're 5 movies and I didn't
I
mention.
gotta tell you, I always understood them. I just don't need to hear about them every fucking movie.
Well, the thing I didn't understand was that sometimes they would say 3 leaves and sometimes they would say 9
It's
leaves.
3 leaves to keep him alive, and 9 leaves to give him agency, where he like gets up and kills people.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that until this movie. I was like, oh, I finally
Well,
see
they've
what's
said that
happening.
in every single movie.
I know, I just haven't.
It's
It's
because
been trouble,
it's impossible to pay attention to this bullshit.
even though it's an hour long.
The and we did the thing again where we like he puts the Tana leaves in and we zoom into the water and we go to a flashback that's all footage from like the first 2 movies
I
because
knew we'd get that again.
that's when they had a budget and that's when they cared to film new shit. Uh
Yeah,
it's
I timed it. I went back and it's 3 minutes long. It's a 3 minute long flashback that we've already gotten in each of the other 4 movies.
yeah.
So that's 3% of this movie, basically. Well, never mind. It's only 60 minutes. I was thinking it was 100 minutes. It's much more percent. Um, so it gets to a point where the mummy's looking for Ananka. We have Ananka. It breaks through the big cell uh door. Do we die? Did it kill some of our guys?
I don't know who I didn't care about any of the characters in this one. I was like, give me Babe all day.
That's
Um,
fair.
You know who the LVP is? It's not Lon Chaney. And it's not this actor's fault, but there is one black character in this movie. All
Okay.
right. His name is Gooby. All right. And he's sort of like Lassie. His whole job
I
in the
don't remember
movie
this.
is he comes in, he'll like run into a scene with a bunch of white people and they'll be like, Gooby, what's wrong? And
She's
he's
in the
like,
well.
it really is like that. But he talks in this like awful, like, like sort of slave patois from like
Hmm.
old movies where he's just like, well, here,
Wait, did he call them master?
I don't know.
Or did I watch something else recently where that
No,
happened?
I feel like he might have.
I feel like he might have,
Yeah.
honestly. That was weird. Yeah, maybe that is the
Like,
LVP. Get that out of
listen,
here.
I saw Mummy out there. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You don't like this
LVP.
voice?
I don't like it. I feel very
Does this make
uncomfortable.
you uncomfortable?
Very uncomfortable. Oh man. All right. So that was
Hey,
a two.
hey, listen.
All right. All right. All
I
right.
done saw a mummy out there.
Someone's watching you though. Always at clan meeting again.
yeah,
They know what time you have to take your meetings.
yeah,
All right. 2 stars. I don't have anything else on this one.
yeah. I guess
I have a million notes on the mummy though.
I'm sure you do. Okay. So let's get into it.
All right.
Uh,
MVP Ananka, LVP Gooby.
Gooby.
Sorry, Gooby.
He doesn't even warrant a name. Just Gooby.
Gooby, that's his name.
Yeah. Um, now, so the Hammer Studios, they made some mummy movies disconnected from these, but they are like ripoffs in like the 60s, I think.
Okay.
Now we Universal doesn't crack open the mummy again until 1987. Okay.
Okay.
They decided they're gonna make a new mummy movie. Let's do it. And that's when basically this movie came into production. Like the producers, Jim Jackson, Sean Daniels, started working on this in 1987. First, they wanted to make it a low budget movie, $10 million. Okay. And they hired George Romero
Oh wow.
to write a treatment and direct it. All right.
That would be really cool.
Yeah. But ultimately, that doesn't get made. Okay. And you'll see a pattern of this. There's a whole bunch of mummy movies that got set up and not made in the 80s and 90s.
Okay.
Uh, then in 1990, they hire Clive Barker right
Wow.
on the heels of Hellraiser.
There
All right.
is. She says in this movie, your little puzzle box at one point, and I
Does
did
she?
think of Hellraiser. Yeah. She's like, your little
Oh,
talking to Jonathan, like, where's your little puzzle box? And I was like, oh,
that
puzzle boxes.
that might be from his version.
That's very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. All
That's
right.
awesome.
So Clive Barker, and he works on it with screenwriter Mick Garris, who was doing a lot of Stephen King adaptations. And they come up with a whole idea. It takes place in Los Angeles, where um, they like some modern artist decides to build a real mummy's tomb, like a life-size mummy's tomb, just in the middle of the city of Los Angeles.
Okay.
And somehow a mummy gets resurrected in there. Anyway, in 1991, they decided not to do it because the studio said their version was quote too perverted.
Hmm.
And I'm like, then if you don't want a perverted mummy movie, why'd you hire Clive Barker?
Seems like the wrong decision there.
That
Yeah.
guy's a fucking pervert.
I need more. I need to understand more how a mummy gets resurrected from an art project.
Well, you can read more about it on the internet.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
All right. Then in 1992,
Hmm.
Joe Dante signs
They're
on.
getting the right people.
I know. All of these sound good to me.
Yeah, that's cool.
So Joe Dante is gonna do a new Mummy movie. He has an idea. He asked for a lot of money for it though. He has like a big expensive idea. All
Hmm.
right. He decides he works on the script with John Sayles,
Oh.
and he wants to hire Daniel Day-Lewis to play the Mummy.
What?
Yeah,
A weird thing.
I know.
Well, he did have that limp in my left foot. So he's like, he can do the good
Yeah.
mummy walk.
I don't know. What would Daniel Day-Lewis like method acting the mummy? You just have to be a mummy for
You
like
would be
eight
a
months
mummy,
of his
show up in
life.
the. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. What a weird
Um,
thing.
Now the notable thing about this version is this script is the first time the Scarabs show up.
Ooh,
And
my
so when
favorite
Steven
guys.
Summers signed on, they gave him all these scripts like to work off of, and that's something he took from the Joe Dante John Sayles version.
Love that. I
All
love the
right,
scarabs.
me too. It's probably the best part of the movie.
Really?
Yeah. Uh, then Mick Garris returns in 1995 without Clive Barker. They're like, "Can you do it less perverted?" He says yes, and so he writes a version, but they can't get a big director to sign on to it. They offered it to Wes Craven. He
Hmm.
says no. All right. Now, then Stephen Summers pitches his take in 1997. All right. It goes a little slow. They're interested, but they don't want to green light it yet. But then he makes Deep Rising, and they're
Hmm.
like, this guy's got the goods.
Yes,
All
yes, he's
right.
got the sauce. That's what I like to say about him. Some
Yeah.
directors are sauceless, and it's because Steven just took all the sauce from everybody.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
He has like Ron Howard's sauce. Anyone who you think is a little sauceless, it's because Steven
yeah.
Summers sucked it all up.
A lot of condiments on his.
Yeah. So all the condiments.
All right. Um. All right. So then, if they're gonna make it, all right. Who do we get? We need a big lead actor,
Hmm.
a big time guy.
George of the Jungle.
Well, he was their fifth choice.
Oh, whoa, who do we got? I
We
can't
off,
imagine anyone else. Oh, that is crazy.
we'd offered it to Tom Cruise.
Of course, every movie is like Tom Cruise.
We offered it to Brad Pitt. We offered it to Matt Damon.
How many of these are real versus like when you have a movie, you send it out to them first. You're like, well, does Cruise want to do it? Does Pitt want to do it? Does this really count?
I think this was a big budget enough movie that they could at least get these people to look at the script.
I mean, Cruise seems real. He seems to have thought about it forever until he made his own version. He's like, I got to
Yeah,
do it
it's
at
true.
some point. So maybe, yeah. All right, what Damon?
And finally, Ben Affleck.
I thought Ben Affleck might be
All
on the
right.
list. Yeah.
They all turn it down. And then they're like, well, who else we got? George of the Jungle had recently done very well at the box office. And so Brendan Fraser's star has risen quite a bit, but he's still not asking for much money. So they're like, we can get this guy on the cheap.
Hmm.
And,
He
you know,
better make it back in
he's
the second
still a
movie.
pretty high profile actor.
Yeah.
What do you mean he better make it back?
Like he better make more and they better pay him more for the second and
Oh,
third movie. He comes
I
back for
hope
the
so
third one.
too. I'll keep you posted on that.
Yeah, I'd love to
Um,
know.
Probably. I feel like the early 2000s were really good for him. Like that Journey to the Center of the Earth movie made a lot of money.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Up
Um,
through when there was like a sexual assault thing. Somebody like touched him.
yeah, someone stuck his hands down his pants, I think.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So he just left Hollywood. And then he won an Oscar for The Whale. That was exciting.
Yeah. He's back, baby.
What did he do since? I feel like he wasn't he in like Oppenheimer or something?
I kind of feel like he won that Oscar and he was just like, I proved myself. I'm good.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe he doesn't even like acting.
I don't know. He was acting. He was doing little stuff for years, and like no one was paying attention. Everyone acted like The Whale was this big comeback. I was like, dude, he was on a season of The Affair.
Yeah, you were
He
talking
was
about
on
that.
this FX show called Trust that
Mm-hmm.
Danny Boyle directed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's been around.
Yeah, pay
Um,
attention.
yeah. All right. Movie comes out May 7th, 1999. I
He's
was there.
awesome though, right? He's like to me, he was like people older than me had Indiana Jones growing up, and I had Rick O'Connell. I'm not kidding.
I know, but I feel like there's certain people in your generation and even my generation that pretend that the Mummy is as good as like Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Who's having to pretend?
I
I don't get it. No, it's not as good as Raiders of the Lost Ark, but it's better than the other two.
don't. It's better than Last Crusade.
Better than the other two. The second
Um,
one's dumb. That girl can't act. She's just in the movie because Spielberg loved her.
yeah, I know, but the next one has like Alex. He can't act.
It was Alex.
Their little son.
What? What movie?
The
Oh, the
Mummy
next Mummy. We're
Returns.
not talking about. We're talking about this movie.
All right,
I liked that kid when I was a little
I'm sure you did.
kid.
You jumped off the fucking couch with a turtle backpack, pretend to be him.
He had a slingshot, so I would sometimes have a slingshot.
I had a slingshot too. I would pretend to be Bart Simpson. I wouldn't pretend to be the kid from the Mummy
I
Returns.
was that kid from The Mummy Returns. That's where we differ.
All right. Oh, it had an $80 million budget.
Hmm.
It made $418.1 million at the box office. The number 8 film of 1999.
Wow, that's awesome.
Made slightly more than Runaway Bride and slightly less than Big Daddy.
Those were huge movies.
I
I
know.
didn't know that because that's like a famously gigantic year. I don't know about box office wise, but critic wise, they
No,
love
both. I mean, box office wise, it had The Matrix and Star Wars and shit.
The Sixth Sense was probably.
Yeah, yeah.
But
All right.
I was looking at we talked about Fraser before this, but Rachel Weisz was nothing basically. She had done some TV
Oh,
stuff.
this was the first thing I'd ever seen her in, and she was mind blowing.
Well, she had done. I don't know if you've seen these movies since then, but there's a movie Death Machine. Okay, she's in White Goods, which is a TV movie with Ian McShane. She has Stealing Beauty, which is
Oh,
a
I've seen that.
Bertolucci
Yeah, I've seen
movie.
that since. I have one of the top reviews on that
What does it
letterbox
say?
page. Um, I was like, it says like Liv Tyler loses her virginity to a Mazzy Star song and then dances around to a whole song. Yeah, that'll buy you 3 stars.
Is it to Jeremy Irons? He's in it. Is
What?
it
Oh, I don't
Jeremy Irons
remember.
is the
I
lead?
I think so. I don't remember.
She's in Chain Reaction with
I've
Keanu
seen that. I've
Reeves.
seen that now too.
I thought you probably had.
Mhm.
Going All the Way. I feel like that's
Yep.
sort of a famous
Yep.
movie.
With Affleck.
And Locaine from Crybaby. I saw she was in it.
Okay.
Bent, which is like a Nazi, gay Nazi movie with Ian McKellen and Clive Owen. Swept from the Sea. Oh,
Heil Hitler.
she has a movie I
That's my
Want.
impression of a gay Nazi.
Yeah, I liked that one.
Thank you.
She had a movie with Alessandro Nivola, I Want You. And then she had a movie, My Summer with Dez. And that's what she had done so far. And then The Mummy. And I have to say, she is so good in this movie. You think the scarabs are the best part? It's easily Rachel Weisz.
You don't have to pronounce it my
Good,
way.
because I hate it. I
I can
can't
tell
stand it.
every time. I feel like it's an effort for you.
It is, it's a chore.
All right. Can I go through the awards?
Yes,
And
yes,
then
yes,
you
yes.
can give us all your mummy notes, I promise.
Yes.
Okay. Um, it was nominated for an Oscar
Good.
for Best Sound,
Well,
and it lost to The Matrix.
name one, do one sound from that movie.
Oh, here, the bullet time thing.
Mm, that one didn't even pick up at all.
No?
No, not the second one.
Bummer.
But no, I get what you're saying. All right, that's fair. I'll give him a pass.
Mhm.
But what about that was the
Wow.
scarabs crawling all over
Oh, that
Benny's
was
body at the
got
end.
it. Got it. Okay.
That was much better.
That part's spooky. All right. Saturn Awards. It won one Saturn Award for makeup, but it was nominated for a shit ton of them. I don't think they should have won for makeup. I think there's too much makeup on Rachel Weisz in this movie. I'm gonna say that right now.
Okay.
She doesn't need all that makeup. She's a beautiful woman. All
Okay.
right. And her eyebrows are too thin. All right.
She's 29 years old in this movie.
She's gorgeous.
Sort of older than I thought, honestly.
You don't need to fuck with her that much, man. Just let her get out there.
Yeah. Let her
Yeah.
show up to set and
Yeah.
act.
Right.
Act her pants off. Wait, she doesn't have to act her pants. That's inappropriate.
I'd like to see that. Um,
Watch Disobedience with Rachel
oh,
McAdams.
maybe I should.
I want to watch that too. I remember I saw the trailer for that and I was like, oh, I gotta watch this. Never did.
All right. Brendan Fraser was nominated for Best Actor, but he lost to Tim Allen in Galaxy Quest. All right. Rachel Weisz nominated for Best Actress. She lost to Christina Ricci for Sleepy Hollow.
Okay,
Um, they were nominated for Best Costumes, but lost to Star Wars Episode One: The Phantom Menace.
fair.
They were nominated. Steven Summers nominated for Best Director, but he lost to the Wachowskis. Best Fantasy Film nominated there, lost to Being John Malkovich. That's pretty
Wow,
understandable. Best Music, Jerry Goldsmith, pretty killer score in this. He also did the score in
I agree.
Deep Rising. And
Probably goes further to Van Helsing. Sounded similar.
probably. And they lose to Sleepy Hollow, Danny Elfman.
Mm.
Visual effects also they're nominated. They lose to Star Wars and best writing. Steven Summers again. He wrote his own script.
Well,
They
some
lost
great
to
dialogue.
Being John Malkovich. All right. Then there's the BAFTAs. They were nominated for BAFTA for visual effects, which they lost to The Matrix. And they were nominated for one MTV Movie Award. Let's hear that theme.
Oh, oh. Beep, 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 beep.
N-
I want my MTV. All right, there we go.
Why'd you pick up your phone for that?
I had to click to play the recording that I have saved on my
Oh,
phone.
oh, right, right,
Man, that
right.
used to be a Henry bit.
Yeah, that's good.
Here's,
Good bit.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we weren't visual back then, so
Right.
yeah, yeah.
But you guys were. Did you guys look at each other?
Nope.
I feel like sometimes you guys would talk about visual things, how each.
Sometimes we would.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, they were nominated for Best Action Sequence. Now, this is the scene where the big sandstorm has the face of the mummy in it,
The
swallows up the
plane scene.
helicopter. Yeah.
Fair.
It's not a helicopter. Yeah, it's like a little biplane, right?
Yeah, it's like Tom
Um,
Cruise was on. That's not the one I would pick. I would pick the ship. That's my favorite. At the beginning when the pirates board the ship and they're after the key and
that
the
is like
guy.
the least memorable action
Oh, I
sequence
love
in the
that. I
entire
love that part.
movie. All right.
And Rick's like about to get shot and she like grabs him and pulls his head and the
That's
bullets.
the best part of that
So
sequence.
many good parts. So many. I love it.
All
The part
right.
where she like gets scared from the guy.
Okay. Um, they lost Best Action Sequence that year at the MTV Movie Awards to the Pod Race
Wow. Okay.
from Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. All right, Logan,
Mm-hmm.
take it, my man.
She's in this movie, Beautiful Creatures. I thought that was Heavenly Creatures. It's not
There's a separate movie called Beautiful Creatures that's like a sort of YA thing.
with her in it.
Yeah.
She plays Petula. All right. So it starts out, we
I
get.
remembered that her name was Evelyn in this movie. That
Mm-hmm,
stuck with me all these years.
mm-hmm. Does it bother you that, I mean, I guess not. They clearly, uh, he has consent to do it. It always bothered me. Her name was Evelyn, but he calls her Evie.
Well, he's her brother.
I know, I
Rick
know,
calls her Evelyn.
I know. But like Evie being short for Evelyn, it's always weird to me. I feel like it should be like Evie,
Or Ev,
Ev,
like our
but
good
like
friend from the
Evie.
challenge.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
remember Evie from Survivor 41?
Yeah. Sort of.
Maybe, barely.
I remember the
Well,
name.
we get that she was like she was a she on the season, and then now is they. I told you, but I
Right.
thought was they them on the season, but was not.
Right.
And I
Remember
was
there
like,
was a guy on that season who
Xander.
his husband was pregnant back at home.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
That was your favorite part of that season. I thought you were gonna say,
Well,
do you remember there was a guy named Xander that
well, that's
season?
just because that's your favorite guy. I know there's a guy named Xander because you mention him every time I talk to you.
That's right.
But remember that other guy.
Yeah, Ricard was his
Yeah.
name.
I hope his husband had a successful birth.
Of course. Why would you wish otherwise?
I would
That
never.
would be a crazy thought to have. We learn the backstory that we've had before, where Emotep is in love with Anaxanamun, but she's with this guy, the Pharaoh. I forget his name, but the Pharaoh says no one's allowed to touch her except for me. He put like a bunch of paint on her body, so
Yeah.
if anyone touches her, it would rub off, and he
Oh,
would be able
that's
to
right.
tell.
Yeah. Anoxina Moon in this movie, by the way, played by Marta, the housekeeper that Jason Bateman fucks in Arrested Development.
I knew that you would notice that. Yes, she had
Yeah.
like a big. I looked it up. She's like 5 episodes of that show,
Yeah. Marta, a very important character.
and an episode named after her as well. I forget which
Oh, it's
one.
like Marta Complex, like Martyr
Something.
Complex. I think
Yes.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And but the Pharaoh notices that Imhotep and Anaxinamun have been fucking around on him, and he's not very happy about that. And but we kill him, I think, right? We kill him, and then the group comes in, and Anaxinamun stabs herself. She's like, "I don't want to live if it's not with Imhotep," and so she kills
I don't
herself.
want to live if living is without you. I can't live without Imhotep. What do you think?
Wow, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
We found our outro. What song is that?
Without You by Harry Nilsson.
Okay, here we
Mm-hmm.
go. Uh, and then Emotep like goes to we're gonna like bury uh Anck-se-namun, but Imhotep grabs her body and goes to do the ritual thing to like mummify her or resurrect her or whatever the thing is. But then we catch him and we cut his tongue off and bury him alive with the scarabs. Bad sight there if you're Imhotep. They said
Oh
later on
yeah.
that they ate him slowly though. And I feel like the scarabs are like they don't fuck around. They
They eat
devour people
fast as
quick.
shit. Like there was one guy that just like
Sudden.
tripped and like they climbed over him and then he was a skeleton.
Yeah, it was almost immediate. But like, at one point they had a line. They were like, he died so slowly. I was like, how? I saw them dump the scare. It was the wrapping. They had a hard time getting under the wrapping.
Oh, maybe. Maybe that's why the rapping.
They wanted to keep him alive. Like that's real torture. That's like that's crazy. Those guys were fucking evil. But that's
Now,
what
that seemed reckless to me, dumping all those scarabs in there. I mean, how can you guarantee they're all going to go for the corpse? Like maybe if you like it's just a bucket of bugs. You can't control them all. A bunch could get out.
they didn't have a lid on it that they opened
No,
immediately and then dumped really quick.
but even when they dump really quick, like if I'm a scarab, I'm not going to spend the rest of my life in that coffin. I'm going to
You're
go. Like,
trapped.
I'm going to run out. They don't close it that fast. You see them swarming around him.
Right. Because they're
I get the
distracted
fuck
by
out of
him. They
there.
want to eat him. They're not distracted by getting out. They're hungry first and foremost.
But there's a lot bigger meals outside
I'm sure
around the
some got
tomb.
out. Like one fell on its back and saw one of the guys outside the cage, outside the thing before they saw
Yeah,
Emotep, and so
right.
they crawled out. They were like, "I
Yeah.
want you," and they jumped out. But we didn't see that.
I'm just saying it's a dangerous operation.
Yeah, I'm sure some of them were a victim of circumstance. So then we go to the big battle. It's like Rick in a cool sand dune battle with Benny.
Right. Right.
That was awesome there.
What
And
was this battle? They're like
I don't know
fighting
the
to get
battle.
into Hapanatra.
Yeah, Hominoptera. Yeah, Hominoptera. They're fighting. Yeah, basically they're fighting for Hominoptera. And
Yeah.
the guys, what are they called? The Magi. They were like hired to watch Emotep's
Right.
tomb or
Right. So
whatever.
now you've got like three competing forces here.
Yeah, it's like a Pirates of the Caribbean film.
It is. You got on the one side the people that hired Brendan Fraser to help them. All
Yeah,
right. You also got Kevin J. O'Connell on that side.
and the American side, those
Yeah.
guys.
Then you got the American side.
Oh, they're on different sides.
Yeah, they're on different sides.
Well, Kevin J. O'Connor's on that side too, then, because he hires the Americans to work for him, right?
Motherfucker, I'm talking about when they're at that battle.
Oh, sorry.
Later on, side switch. Kevin J.
Okay,
O'Connor turns on Rick. All
okay.
right. Benny. And but listen, the Americans, I thought that main guy was charming.
Who?
All right.
Which
The
one?
one with the floppy hair.
The cowboy one, the real
Yeah.
cowboy guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I looked up the actor. He died of a heart attack at the age of 47.
No way.
Yeah.
Who is Stephen Dunham? Is him?
Yeah.
That's horrible news.
Horrible story.
I hate that. He played Henderson.
Yeah, he was good. All right, so you got that side, and then there's the mummy guys, right? And they're all wearing like hoods and tattoos on their faces. They talk about Allah a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Allah bless us. I feel like they were just using like American terms where we say God, but they were changing it to Allah.
Yeah. And amen to Allah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
didn't know. Maybe they do that. I don't know.
yeah. So
But that's Oded Fair.
that's
Those
Oded
guys.
Fair. And by the way, I gotta say, remember I told you I always thought Oded Fair was boring? I kept an eye on him in this movie. I was
And
like, Logan likes Oded Fair. Let me see how this goes. He's pretty good.
hell yeah. He does a
Yeah,
lot of the voiceover too. He's pretty good at that, I think.
yeah.
We've covered him before though, remember?
In what?
He is the gigolo, the gigolo, right? In the European gigolo
Oh
that
yeah,
that hires him to stay at his apartment or whatever.
yeah, yeah.
He has short hair there. He's like a
I covered
model.
that with you.
Yeah, that was one of the early things we did. I think that was like a P dot pick, maybe.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
I
you
didn't know
liked
I
him
still
more than
had
me.
P dot picks when you were on the show.
Yeah, I think he did like Tremors was the first thing we did. That was a P dot pick.
That was the first thing we did together.
The first thing I got to pick was High School Musical. I remember you let me because the third one came out in theaters.
Yeah, I
That was
did.
very nice of you.
Hmm.
I think you said we could do Camp Rock though too, even though those didn't come out in theaters.
Yeah, I'll let you have that at some point.
I got the first one on Blu-ray for the occasion when we do it.
Great.
I have these on Blu-ray. I got them right here. This is my steel book of the Mummy. It's the book. The key goes here, and you can
Oh
I don't know
yeah,
if you can hear it, but it's like has the grooves in it, and it's pretty cool though.
pretty
Um,
cool. I just came up with a joke about Camp Rock in Blu-ray. Can I go back and say it?
yes, of course.
You ready? Get ready for this. 4D Lovato.
I don't really get it.
What isn't it? 4 HD, 4D. What are we doing?
What? Why D Lovato? Why?
I was trying to say it sounds like Demi Lovato. I shouldn't have gone back and said that joke.
That's fine. I mean, it wasn't didn't alter our life. What if our lives are
Oh
totally
wait,
different now?
it's 4K.
Yeah, I was a little
That's what
confused.
I was thinking of.
4K Lovato.
Yeah, and that doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work. 4K. There's Kevin Jonas. 4K Jonas.
Thanks for working on it
I'm trying.
for me.
Oh man. So that's the sand battle basically. Rick gets cornered by these guys, and then I thought that was a cool effect. Summers is just such a great filmmaker, in my opinion, where what was that his guns?
No, no, sand.
Oh, are you throwing sand?
Yeah,
Oh, he Daniel has sand by him.
yeah.
Um, he gets surrounded by those guys, and then like the sand under him starts going, phew, 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 and it's like the head under him. But just such cool filmmaking where Brendan Fraser's like jumping up around the sand and it's coming up.
The sand in the ground makes a face.
It does. Of
Yeah.
Arnold Vosloo, your favorite. Do you want
Now,
to talk about him? What do you know him from? How do you always remember his name?
this I think
You just know it.
Arnold Vosloo had been in a previous Stephen Summers project, and so he didn't even have to audition. He got the offer.
Whoa.
Um, and yeah, I think he's pretty good in this.
He's sort of irreplaceable. I can't imagine anybody else playing the mummy.
Daniel Day Lewis.
I mean, now that I know that.
Yeah.
Maybe Ricky Gervais. I don't know why I thought of that. That'd be funny though. Then we go to the library and we meet our character Evie. And I love Evie, which everything
This
she's doing in the
fucking
library.
scene,
This is
I
awesome
it's goofy.
in the all the best ways.
It's
She
a little
stands
too
upright on
much.
the ladder. She's like,
It, it's
falling.
a little much that she knocks down every bookcase in the
But
entire library.
we knocked them all down and we shot it all on camera.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
And then that dude comes in to like,
I don't like that guy very much. The curator.
well, he's been in a ton of movies,
Yeah, he's not.
but
I know him from this though.
he
Eric
comes in
Avari.
and he's like, I feel like he should fire her on the spot, honestly.
She's unbelievably charming. There's no way. You meet people like her.
You just listen, you just knocked down 100% of the items in this library.
I take people for who they are, not like mistakes they make.
I
I
think
look
if
at
you're
her
a
in
boss,
totality.
but I don't feel like she's very good at this.
She was
You know,
standing upright on a ladder. Like,
there's this moment later in the movie where someone's like, "What are you?"
I'm
And she
a
says, "I'm a
librarian.
librarian." And I'm like, "You're not good at that."
I disagree fully. She has a system down where she's able to stand on a ladder and put books on a shelf and then turn
She
around
wasn't
when
able to do that. She knocked down every bookcase.
you can tell she's done that so many times though, because she was really willing to do it. She was like, okay, oh, it's on that side behind me. Let me just push back down to the K and put it like that's a thing she does. She's very talented at that, I think. She just made a mistake. I don't like this.
How do you assume she's talented?
Because it seemed
We literally
routine.
only see her fuck
It
up.
seems so routine to her. Like she does it every day of her life.
I don't know. I feel like she's done this before, knocked out bookcases, but it's only been like one or two. Now she's knocked down them all.
They put it up in a domino fashion. They need to learn
Yeah.
not to do that.
Well, that was pretty dumb
That
design.
was the curator's fault. He
Yeah.
curated the wrong design on the
You're right about
library.
that. That part is the curator's fault.
Yeah. I never was. I always just thought it was such a cool thing to get on film. All the bookcases falling over.
I don't know. I take things like they're actually happening.
So you would fire her if that happened.
Maybe I'd offer a quid pro quo.
I wish that you weren't kidding. Curate this.
Hey, you could do that back then in the 20s.
Yeah, they're in the 20s. That's crazy. They're in the 20s.
We're in the 20s now.
Yeah, we're in a depression. Is is Fraser the most attractive guy in the 20s, you think?
I mean, he's pretty special.
Yeah, he is a freaking specimen.
I forgot that when you first meet him in jail, he's
He's
got
George
like
of the Jungle.
long George of the Jungle hair.
Yeah, that's honestly the first thing that made me think about that.
Yeah.
I looked it up. I was like, is this pre or post George of the Jungle?
Yeah, just after.
You know who plays his love interest in George of the Jungle?
I don't remember.
Leslie Mann. First time
Oh,
I
yeah.
ever saw her. Sort of
Wow.
fell in love with her there. I think Thomas Hayden Church is the bad guy.
Yeah,
That's
it's
sort of
me,
a fun movie.
Thomas Hayden Church.
Yeah. Do you not like him or something?
No, I like him. I do an amazing impression of him, so I
You
let
do.
let it
It's probably
go.
my favorite one you do. No, George. George is my favorite. Steven.
George?
Steven.
Oh,
George Lucas.
right.
So that's how. Oh, and then her brother comes in, Jonathan, and he's like, "I found this little box, this little."
I found Jonathan very funny as a child. Oh well, I guess or when I was 13 when I saw this.
That's a child.
I guess that is still a child. Yeah. I mean, like if you fucked a 13-year-old, you'd be fucking a child.
Yeah, it's a good way to look at it.
Yeah,
That's how
yeah.
you view what a child is. If you fuck them, would you be in trouble?
Right, right.
What a crazy thing.
but I'll say I was worried that I wouldn't find him funny as an adult.
Oh, but you do still.
But I did. It made me laugh a few times.
Yeah, I agree. There was like one part I thought was a little overboard on the comedy where Brendan Fraser's like, "What? You think I haven't taken on 15 guys on my own before?" And then Jonathan's like, "Yeah, me either." And then Brendan Fraser looks at him like, "Seriously, guy?" And he's like, "Yeah, I've done that." It's like that little part I didn't like so much. But I like Jonathan.
I didn't love the part where um he makes a joke that maybe we should have just sold Evelyn into sex slavery.
No, I love that.
Tempting.
No, I loved that because yeah, that's the line. He says that tempting, isn't it? And then he sees Rachel Weisz come in looking beautiful.
Brendan Fraser does. And he
Yes,
says
awfully.
yeah, awfully. That part's good.
I love that.
But it's wild that her brother is just sort of like, let's use my sister as a whore.
I think Fraser said that, and then Jonathan says it is tempting, isn't it? And then that's when Fraser rebuffs or replies awfully. So I think it was Fraser's idea to sell her into slavery.
But he's pumped about it.
He is a little bit.
Maybe they'll let us watch.
He didn't say that. So then we save his life. We talk to this guy down to he can have 25% if you spare Rick O'Connell. Let us take him on this journey, and we'll give you some of the treasure that we find. But then that guy tags along. You like him, Warden?
Oh yeah, I like their negotiation where she says 30% and 25%. Done.
Ah!
Yeah, and he immediately realizes that's good.
He's good. I always liked him. He's funny.
I mean, he's good. You gotta kill him like right away.
Yeah,
like that.
He's
that's
the scarab death.
Yeah, yeah. But
I didn't remember his death. He actually dies by what? Does he break his neck? Because he gets the scarabs in, and then he runs headfirst into a wall.
Into a wall, yeah.
That is
yeah.
death.
I don't know. That part is wild.
That was very sad. I always liked him. He's a fun actor. I think I don't know what he's done since, but he's good in this role.
He's got a good nose.
Sure, great. I honestly, he reminds me of. No, never mind.
What? What do you got?
He reminds me of Watto. Like
How
he
dare
sounds
you?
like
How
Watto.
dare you? Watto is our Jewish representation in Star Wars, and this man is not Jewish.
But this what he feels like Watto to me a little bit. Anyway, so we get on the big boat, and that's where we meet the Americans and Benny. Benny's leading the Americans on a group to also go to
Benny's
Hamunaptra.
great. Benny's
Love
low
Benny.
key the MVP of the movie.
No, Rachel Weisz. He's top few. He's great.
He's amazing. He's really funny,
The,
like
the
throughout.
religious the necklace with all the religions on it is very iconic. Where he's
I
like talk to the mummy with all the necklaces.
I like the part where he's like he like tries to taunt Rick, and Rick goes, at least I'm not on the other side of the river.
Oh, you think you like that part, Daniel? You don't even know how great that part is. But yeah, so the pirates end up boarding the ship. They know about the key.
You're a maniac.
And I love the part where Evie is getting ready for sleep. I love the part where she's thinking about the kiss and she drops her thing like in front of the hook. It doesn't quite make the hook. I love that little
Yeah,
part. She's
and
just so good in this movie.
that actually might be my favorite Rachel Weisz scene in the movie. Like she does that, and then she sort of just like smacks something on the wall, like this open door, and
The kiss wasn't even that
it wasn't
good.
even that good. Yeah, I she's very charming in that scene.
Unbelievable, yeah. She bends down to pick something up, stands up, and the scary guy is in the mirror. And I love this part. The guy's asking for the key, and she goes, the key, what key?" That's one of my favorite lines in this movie from her. And then Rick
Okay.
comes and then Rick comes in and saves her. And that's when we get the part where he's like about to get shot in the head, and she saves him. And everybody jumps off the ship. We end up on two separate uh sides of the river. It looks like you're on the wrong side of the river. Yeah. But it starts. Hey Rick, looks like we've got all the horses. And then hey Benny, looks like you're on the wrong side of the river. Oh man,
Great line delivery from Fraser there.
this whole movie, he is off the charts.
He really,
Movie star.
yeah, yeah. And I don't know that I ever felt that way about Brendan Fraser before this. Like I always
Wow.
liked
Oh,
him.
before this.
But he really does like just he's as good as any of those other movie stars they offered it to.
Yeah,
And I mean he holds the screen like a star.
absolutely.
Um,
He,
and
he, in my opinion, this has always been a thought that I've had. He's the greatest movie yeller of all time. Nobody's better at yelling in a
he is
movie than
good.
Brendan Fraser,
He is
specifically in
good.
this movie. I could do a montage of just all of his great lines.
You know,
Um,
but I mean, he'd been around forever. Like I'd known him for a long time. I saw School Ties when I was really young. I
that's
saw
right.
Encino Man in theaters. I Is he
The
in
Adam
With
Sandler one.
Honors?
What's that?
Is he in With Honors? The
I
movie
don't
with
know.
Joe Pesci is the homeless guy. I think he
What's the
is.
Adam Sandler radio? Uh, uh, they break into a radio.
Oh, Airheads. Fuck yeah. That
Airheads.
that you know what? He's kind of a movie star in that one.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Also,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, he's awesome. I think that thing really didn't mess with him
Confirmed. He is in that Joe Pesci homeless guy movie.
with honors.
Yeah. Look at this. You gotta see this. Look at Patrick Dempsey's beard.
Wow, that's crazy. He looks like Bradley Cooper a little
Yeah.
bit. Who's the woman? Joan Cusack?
It's no, it's Moira Kelly who is in the first season of The West Wing.
Oh, okay. Okay. Um, yeah, okay. So we end up buying some camels. By the way, I didn't understand the whole race between the Americans and the our crew. We have camels. I feel like the Americans would win. They have the horses. If you have the horses, you would win in a race to
Yeah, but our navigator, and by our I mean America.
but they're
Um,
America. They're
oh
the
right, right.
Americans.
But we got Rick. Well, but our team is Rick. Okay,
And he says, I have the map up here. Don't worry about it.
he is our navigator. Their navigator is Benny. All right,
Mhm.
so they probably made a couple wrong turns, had to go back. You
It's like
know,
when it's like getting lost in a challenge race, like you run a mile, like you run in the wrong direction on the
that's
challenge
right.
final, and you're like,
Yeah,
God damn it, now I lost the final.
right.
All
Got to
because of
double
this.
back.
You're Natalie Negrotti, right?
Did she do that?
She lost it for her and Polly that season.
I'm
They
gonna
almost
start Challenge 40 today. That's next on my list.
what season was that? I don't even
The last
remember.
season.
I don't remember what
So
happened. Oh
all
yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
yeah,
There's a I think a new one coming out soon. Anyway,
there is. Yeah, they that's why it's on Paramount Plus now.
so we get the Hominoptera. This is when the I thought this you could probably shorten this down. So we spend some time in Hominoptera, and then the Magi show up and they like attack them, and they're like, oh, they attack, and they say like, you have 1 day to leave, and they're like, oh, they attacked us because they know we're close to the treasure. I feel like just cut that out and have them find the treasure and like,
Agreed. The movie drags a little bit around this time.
yeah, that was a complaint that I had this time
Mhm.
around, but whatever, it's fine. I do like the shot where it's Jonathan golfing like right in front of the camera, and Fraser and Rachel Weisz behind the camera, like in the background, and he's like pretending to golf, and the thing sarcophagus falls right in front of them. It looks
Oh
like they
yeah.
get crushed by it. It's a very cool shot. I like that. And so they find Imhotep, and we read from the book, and that guy has the great line, "You must not read from the book." That's a legendary line from this
Okay.
movie.
Great.
Yeah, very bad. And we get
Is
the
that the
part.
same guy? There's that good moment where when the locusts all come, he's just standing there
He's like, "We
with
fucked
the
up.
yeah,
We
with the
messed with God's
locusts all
plan."
over him.
Yeah, that's Jonathan Hyde. He plays the Egyptologist, and I didn't like him. I thought he was overdoing every scene he was in. Besides
Wow.
that part, actually,
Is
that
he your
part was
LVP?
maybe I had a few written down, but
Who
he's one of
else?
them. Uh, thought about him. I thought about Eric Avari, who played the
I like
curator.
him.
Yeah. I thought about uh Daniels. He was boring.
Who's
He
that?
he's not the guy with the glasses. He's not the cowboy. He's like a guy who dies off screen. He's not the curator. He's like a random guy who dies off screen, but he has a lot of lines.
Huh.
Yeah, he's played by Corey Johnson.
Yeah, I feel
He
like
might be my
he's
LVP.
just like filler. He's just
He is
someone so the cowboy guy has someone to speak to.
a little bit. But then there's the glasses guy, but that guy had a more memorable death than this guy.
Yeah.
And there are a few of those other guys that they open a tomb and they get killed by like acid smoke or something. And they're like, oh, we
That's
just
off screen,
lost.
isn't it?
It's like on screen, but it's really quick. And they're like, oh, we lost four randos. And we're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. We just killed four of them pretty quickly there. Uh anyway. So we get drunk. Oh, then we spend a lot of time getting drunk. That's where she says, I am a librarian. I liked that part though.
Oh yeah. She goes to kiss him and then she passes out.
That's right. She had a very funny line though. She says, "What is a place like me doing in a girl like this?"
You like
I
that?
don't like that. She had a weird story though. I didn't. This was pretty weird. I feel like her dad would be canceled today or
What
something.
was the story?
He had like a fetish. I don't know. I guess that's okay to have a fetish, but he had an Egyptian fetish. He loved Egypt so much that he married an Egyptian woman, and that was Rachel Weisz and Jonathan's parents.
Hey, listen, we don't. It's just something we don't talk about, but it's a thing.
But
Listen,
I feel
my
like
friend
people don't like
Isaac,
that
who's
so
been on
much.
the show,
Yeah.
Isaac,
Yeah, sure.
you know, I've seen him have like probably 10 girlfriends in my life.
All
Okay.
one specific race.
And nine of them were Asian.
Yeah. I feel like some people don't like that very much.
Yeah, I know, but like, listen, we eat what we like. And sometimes it's Asian pussy.
Should have known you were just gonna go for it. It
Yeah.
was very funny. All right. So we the American oh we the mummy's out, whatever. We and then we go home. The guy with the Benny is now working for the mummy. He comes in and talks to the guy with no tongue and no eyes. And like I liked that. The meeting he scheduled for them. And he's like, we're gonna actually need the rest of your body now. Sorry, guy. So they end up killing him. Um, and then we need Evie. So she leaves with Emotep. She's like, I'll go with Emotep. Follow me to Hamanoptera because that's where the ritual has to be completed.
Right.
So So
I
that's
was wondered like what happened between them.
I think we see it all.
I don't know that we see everything with Evelyn and Imhotep.
I think he's on him. I think he's like get there. I don't think he's wasting time.
I think she has to kiss him a couple times.
I think her the first time she kisses him it was when she saves their life in the desert. When he's doing the whole sand guy and she kisses him to distract him. I think that's their first kiss.
Maybe, maybe. I
I don't
hope
think
so.
anything weird happened. Um, but Rick does an Indiana Jones thing. Remember in Indiana Jones when he like holds the guy up to like the blade propeller or what or
Oh
something like that?
yeah,
He
yeah.
does that in this movie. Or is it a fan in like the bar? Might be two
It is
both
a fan
things.
in this movie, but
Well, it's
yeah,
a fan here, yeah.
he holds up the guy. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just like Indiana Jones. And then a lot of people die. We see the Egyptologist guy, the cowboy dies. That was fun. He's
Well, we
like,
get all the plagues. We do the plagues. It's like the old story of Passover. And yeah, so there's the sky turns dark, the water becomes blood, even though it really looked like fruit punch. And
yeah,
what are the other
sludge.
plagues?
I don't remember. The locusts.
Locusts. What else? I was like, where the fuck? I'll tell you, I'll give this movie one thing. I was like, where did those locusts come from? That's insane. Like the locusts just like were waiting for someone to disturb this tomb.
Mhm.
But then we later see the mummy open its mouth and a bunch of locusts fly out of it.
Yeah.
So he's generating the locusts.
Yeah, yeah, that's a crazy power. I didn't understand why they even gave him all these powers. Like at the beginning of the movie, when we
Well,
kill him,
think about this. The Mummy's Curse, I wondered this. The previous movie from 1944. When we do the flashback, they do a thing where they're like, we're gonna turn him into a mummy, all right? And he must stay dead.
or else he has a
Right?
million powers.
He must stay in this tomb because if he comes out of the tomb, he's unbeatable.
What the
And I'm
fuck?
like, then I would just kill him. Don't turn him
Yeah,
into a mummy. Just kill him.
not worth it. I
Yeah.
didn't understand their plan.
I mean, they're literally like, well, that's future generations' problem. We don't have to fucking deal with that. We're gonna keep him dead.
If the upside is we torture him, the downside is he turns into Thanos and kills almost
But if you
everybody.
hate him so much to torture him like that, why give him the option? Like, well,
Right.
eventually you could have like a fucking killer life because you are the most powerful person in the world.
Yeah, I would take like 5 years of misery to then like be rich or whatever. That's basically his deal. Like be tortured for a few years and then you come out on the other side, the most powerful guy on earth.
Honestly, like if someone wanted to give me the power to generate locusts, I would go through the mummy ritual.
Why would you want that power? I understand why he would, but what would you do with that?
I feel like I could probably make a lot of money.
Doing what? A YouTube
Uh,
channel?
no, just like going around doing that places, opening for bands.
You're already
I
in
could,
Vegas. You could get a Vegas
yeah,
cool show
residency.
show on in
Yeah.
Vegas.
I and maybe you could like gain some power that way too. Like, listen, give me this job or
Or else I unleash the locusts upon
right.
you.
And they're like, you can't do that. I'm like, well, how about here's just one.
Yeah. Throw it out.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That would be cool. Yeah, you're actually
Mhm.
right about that. It could be useful. I'd rather like teleport though. Like if I could have superpower,
Listen,
Locust would be very low on the
I
list of superpowers.
understand, but I'd rather be a locust generator than what I am now, which is powerless and
Well,
powerless over drugs and alcohol.
mm, if those are the choices.
Mhm.
Yeah. We learned that Emotep gets real scared of cats. That's like his one
Oh, I
weakness.
love that. And I'm like, this guy, what a pussy. Like, what? Who's afraid of cats? They're adorable. But I get it. They're like cats were like revered in Egyptian times or whatever. Um,
And they have like
but
the big dog looking things.
I really like the moment though where like, is it Jonathan? He just holds up the
Nah,
cat.
Fraser. Rick
Fraser holds,
O'Connell.
and the cat's like,
And then he
and
goes
then he
spiraling out the
freaks out.
window.
He freaks out. He just turns into sand and jumps out the window. He
Very
sort
cool.
of got Sandman powers. Remember, he goes through that lock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that part. I remember like the parts where it goes to commercial breaks. Like things would happen. I'd be like, oh, this is like from seeing it on TV so many
Are
times. Or
you
like,
fucking
I
serious?
swear to God, like the
That's
part
hilarious.
looks like you're on the wrong side of the river, and then he kicks the water, goes the
Mhm.
commercial break right at that part. I was like, oh, it felt weird not seeing the commercial break. So there's like, I didn't like the part with the big mob comes up, Imhotep,
You don't
Imhotep.
like the part though where Jonathan like blends into the mob?
Imhotep.
Yeah,
That was kind of
that
funny.
part's
That was
good.
like The Walking Dead, one of the first episodes of The Walking Dead when we
Oh
pretend
yeah,
like
like
we're walkers.
yeah, when you like put a bunch of blood and guts all over your body. Yeah.
Glenn and Rick. I did that. Another Rick, classic
Yeah.
Rick protagonist. So this is Daniels dies here. We're in a car leaving the mob. The guy Daniels, my LVP, just falls out and then dies.
Oh
And then
yeah, we
like
get a big car chase here.
yeah.
There's another one of these in Mummy Returns too. I
Mhm.
recall. Steven Summers likes doing these little like
Well, there's a
old
bus
car
chase in the
chases.
Mummy Returns. A cool bus chase, going after those guys with the swords and the shields. Those mummies are scary. And the Mummy Returns has little mummies, like tree mummies. Do you remember
Oh,
that?
I don't.
That's kind of
We'll
cool.
see next week.
Yeah. Um. So we visit this guy, the pilot. Uh.
Oh yeah, this guy. I thought this guy got sort of the short shrift, you know? He's like set up, he's a pretty charming character, and then he just fucking dies, and we're like, all right, I guess he's dead now.
I sort of liked his death because I feel like he started out like I wish I died in the war with all my friends. Now I'm like living a sad life, doing
Yeah, but
nothing.
they're just saying that so that you don't feel bad when he dies in 5 minutes.
Right. And I didn't. I felt like, oh, he
That
died
that
doing a
worked on
mission,
you. All
doing a cool mission.
right.
Was happy on his way out. And then
Yeah.
Rick gave a sad look, like, oh, my friend's dead. Pretty sad.
And then quicksand swallows him.
Yeah. You couldn't even mourn his death because quicksand got him so quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, so quickly. So by the way, just all the little details with Summers' directing. I love the way he like we see Benny jump out of a window and it's clearly a stunt double, but then the Benny actor like, rises in front of the camera. A lot of tricks like that, and we see like the plane go behind like a pyramid, and then we see a crash. Go on. See, it's clear they just like do something behind the pyramid. It's very.
Some of the CGI in this movie is not good.
I agree.
It's like tough to watch. And I think that's just going to happen with every movie made with CGI. And that's why we're all, like at a certain point, like movies are going to become really ephemeral. Like you can't go back to them in years because they're just going to look like garbage. Um, I I think there's like a shot where they're like looking out on Egypt and like there's fire raining from the sky. It looks horrible. It looks like a PlayStation 1 game.
Yeah, those didn't bother me like the outside shots. I think if Summers shoots the moon unlike anyone else. It's not like I don't think a real moon, but he makes the moon look so cool. Anyway, but some of the things where he oh, I feel like I really had something and then I just
Oh,
totally lost what I was gonna say. Um I don't know. It's more like the scarabs sometimes look dumb and the mummy really up close looks sort of silly.
the effects on Vosloo look terrible. The only good one, and I'd forgotten this moment in the movie, and I sort of popped when it happened, was when the there's like one bug that like crawls out of his cheek and then crawls into his mouth,
And he eats it.
and he eats it.
Yeah, love that part.
That's good.
That is amazing. Yeah. So I guess we're like at the end. We go to where Evie's getting the ritual done, Hamunaptra, and there are a bunch of mummies. Like there are mummies coming to life. We there's a mummy that starts juggling his head. That's a
Oh
fun part.
yeah, there's that. I sort of like this too. Like Rick with he's got like sort of a sword or a saber or something, and he's fighting off the mummies. They did some really creative stuff with that.
Absolutely. I fully
Mhm.
agree. And the sword's like on the ground at one point, and there are mummies like crawling at him, and there's a hand going
It's
to
a
the sword.
disembodied hand, and he grabs the hand and uses it. Yeah.
So creative. You're totally right. And And then the crazy mummies come in. They have shields and swords, and they like scream at him, and he screams back
Yeah,
because he has the best scream of
this
all
is
time.
very Jason and the Argonauts, aka Army of Darkness.
Okay, yeah, I
Yeah.
see that. And meanwhile, Jonathan's like trying to read from the book, trying to save everybody. And we have Anoxana Moon. She's back. She's like doing some evil shit, fighting Evie, and then but she dies again. That's very sad. That always really captured my imag. I don't know if when she kills herself at the beginning, when she stabs herself, that was the first time I ever saw somebody do that, kill themselves that way. I can't imagine doing that.
Seppuku. Isn't that what they call it in samurai culture?
I don't know if that's pronounced
Commit
that like that.
seppuku.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what she did. That's
Yeah.
crazy. I can't imagine. Anyway, so we save the day. We kill Emotep. We like send him into the sludge, and like the mummies come down and carry him away or whatever. It's pretty awesome. And the place starts collapsing.
It is sludge. He looks like a fucking pelican in there.
Yeah, the oil spilled all right on top of him. I don't know how they shoot this stuff though, where it's like the ceilings are coming down and Benny's like crawling under it. How do they shoot that stuff without it being dangerous?
I assume the ceilings are actually incredibly light and like made of foam,
Is
and
that
then
not still a little
they add a
dangerous?
sound effect to make it sound like it's
Boulders
yeah.
and rock.
Hmm.
Okay, yeah, yeah, you're probably right there. Still seems dangerous. Um, and then at the end of the movie, another great line of dialogue where we're heading out, and Jonathan says, "Well, I guess we go empty-handed again." And then Rick says, "I wouldn't say that because he has Evie on his side, on
Right,
his
but they
arm, I
also
guess."
have treasure. I don't
Oh,
know how, but they do.
oh, he had treasure with him.
There's like a little you're not you don't notice it, but Steven Summers helps you out
Yeah.
because it's like this little pouch of treasure, and as the camel starts going, he adds a little effect where the treasure goes ping, sort of like Joe Pesci's gold tooth in Home Alone.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So then you're like,
Very
oh,
cool.
they got some money now.
Yeah, so they real treasure. I was just
Yeah.
thinking Rachel Weisz was his treasure, but
Well, that is, but
two
he
treasures.
also let them have some real treasure.
Treasure. It's a great Bruno Mars song.
No, it's not. You know how I know? Because there are no good Bruno Mars songs.
Oh, stop it. There are at least a dozen.
Stop it.
That's not that many. So that was The Mummy 1999. I hope you guys liked it as much as me.
Yeah. What
What,
are you gonna
five
give it?
stars?
5? I'm gonna give it 3.
Three. I'll go
Yeah.
four. 4 stars. Easy four. But oh, by
um.
the way, I forgot to mention all the screen wipes.
Oh,
There are like 4 or 5
There's
screen
one
wipes.
really good one where he like swings under something and it goes with him.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Totally. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very cool. Love all the screen wipes. So 4 and a 3. MVP, I'm going Rachel Weisz. Who are you gonna go with?
Uh,
Jonathan?
Fraser.
Okay. He is maybe the most valuable. But you could have replaced him with one of those guys, and it's probably I don't want
I
to
think
say that.
it's slight. I think the tone changes a little bit. I think it's less goofy um, and more of like a straight action movie. And I
Well,
think Brendan,
Summers.
but I think Brendan Fraser is a great actor to translate Stephen Summers' tone.
I
I think
agree.
Hugh Jackman is
Even
probably
better.
too serious an actor, and that's why
But
there's like a sort of dissonance in Van Helsing.
he's serious, Hugh Jackman. He was like
Yeah.
wanting to like tap dance all over the set, and Steven had to calm him down and be like, "No, this is a serious film. We're not tap dancing on. You're not tapping in this one."
Well, maybe Steven got a little too serious.
Maybe you're right. Who's the LVP?
Um, I don't know. I'll go with that guy you were talking about, the Cowboys' friend,
Yeah, Daniels.
Daniels.
Damn, it's another
You
bad
know,
Daniels.
I did notice that. I was
Yeah.
like, why is the worst character in the movie Daniel?
That's all right.
You know,
That
I was watching the show Good American Family on Hulu, Logan,
Right.
and Dan Spilo has an executive producer credit on it.
I think I remember Tim telling us about that. Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did they not watch his season of Survivor?
I guess they don't care.
They don't care. Yeah, that's probably more it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hollywood's crazy. I just watched Mulholland Drive.
Yeah, I
That
saw.
was nuts. That
Gave
was
it
a
a straight
crazy movie.
5.
Yeah, well, I'd feel dumb going under. The only reason I would go under is to be like, well, I didn't really understand it, so 4. And
Right,
that
right.
seems dumb. That seems dumb. So, all right, is that it? Can't
Yes.
wait for next week. They'll have a little
Next week
baby.
on the show, Mummy Returns and the Scorpion King. We're not going to do
Not
the
in that
Scorpion
order.
King
Oh wait, it
sequels.
is in that order.
Yeah, we might double back and do Scorpion King at some point, but we're just going to do the first one, which came out in theaters and was a spinoff of The Mummy Returns. And Logan, if you're down, maybe we watch an episode of the Mummy animated series that I watched.
Okay, I wasn't aware of this.
Yeah, it came out around. I know that it came out around the time of Mummy Returns because the kid was a character in it.
He's the crossover.
They're all in it.
Oh, they're all in it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
All
Do
right.
they do
Anyway,
the? Are they actors in it?
no, of course not.
Hmm. All right.
But anyway, so that's next week, and then the following week we'll do Tomb of the Dragon Emperor and the Dark Universe. Um, stay tuned on the Patreon, patreon.com/the franchise. This week we got 2 more Buffy Angel, they're Angel episodes. We've been done with Buffy for a while.
Yeah.
It's Underneath and Origin, and then on Friday, Comp Beasts, where we will be finishing up Survivor 43.
That's
Um,
right.
and
We just did pilots yesterday. Check
yeah,
that
we
out.
just ranked the top 25 best pilots of all time, TV pilots.
Not
And
Sully and people like
right,
that.
well, he'd be number 1 with a bullet. Um,
Well,
uh,
he'd be in the top 25 because of the accomplishment, but he put him in that position to begin with. A lot of pilots don't even put you in
stop
that
it,
position. You don't think? You don't think you
stop
can
it.
knock him a little bit?
No,
All right, fair
um,
enough.
Sully's a hero, a true American hero.
Okay.
But and maybe hey, I'm watching here next Sunday.
Yeah, it's been a while. I'm just waiting on
Yeah,
whatever day you want to do it, really.
yeah, that'll work.
Okay.
All
That'll
right,
do,
so
pig. And I want to say we didn't get any new reviews. I specifically said last week, hey, leave a review if you want to be a nice person, and nobody felt like they wanted to be that nice. So just putting that out there. That was
yeah,
hurt a little bit.
Hannah just got the Patreon money, and it was like $10 less than usual. We're struggling here, gang.
Jesus Christ.
We need some
We're
help.
going
Yeah,
under the sludge, like the mummy guy. Remember when we went
under
under?
the sludge.
I had a question. Didn't Aladdin have like a few sequels that never uh went to the movie theater? Like
Yeah, we
Scorpion King?
covered him. We covered him.
But what's the difference between Aladdin and the Scorpion King? Why'd you do
There's
Aladdin
no difference. It's just that I want to include Scorpion King as part of the Mummy franchise.
but without doing
We
the
we
sequels?
we could cover the Scorpion King as its own franchise anytime we want.
Right, right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it. Next week we more mummies. Mummy Monday. Last Mummy Monday of all time. We'll rank them
No, we
all.
got 2 more. We got 2 more.
Two. Oh, it's not a two more. Yeah, you're
Good
right.
job.
You're right. Sorry. All right.
All right. Hate one another.
You must not read from the book.